into the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, welcome to AfterBuzz TV. This is The 100, Season 3, Episode 7, 13. I'm your host, Tauri J. Miller, and I'm joined by the wonderful Alexis Torres.
Hey, everybody.
Tell them where they can find you.
Okay, you can find me all over social media as Torres890. I apologize to our iTunes listeners and anybody else who is watching us live that my voice seems a little lower. It's because I am under the weather, and I'm putting on my late night radio talk show host voice.
Nice. Better than being over the weather, am I right?
Well, it's going to be a long show. I can already feel it.
It's just the beginning.
I'm so glad I took NyQuil before we did this. Let's do it!
Yeah. And thank you for joining us. Remember, we are available on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Like if you love what we're doing. Make sure to leave us comments and reviews. So, I'd like to just jump right into this episode. It was a real tightly written episode. A lot of stuff happened.
There was a lot of things happening. Sorry, Deadpool really wanted my microphone. It was a little crazy pants. Oh, obviously it's just the two of us here tonight. Ben Bateman is off doing superhero-y stuff. I don't know why I said that. It's just
that's what he does.
That's what he does.
Guys, he's a night vigilante. I don't know if you know that, but
you should go send him some love at Ben Bateman Media. Do it.
Yeah.
Ooh. But yes, I agree with you. I felt like there was a lot going on. My brain at a slow pace right now because of all of the cold medicine and things. It was a little hard to keep up with everything, but just that was pretty much my reaction to everything. And then there was tears, and there was a little bit of table flipping, and then back to tears. And but I like that there was a lot. We finally figured out what was going on with the infinity symbol.
Yeah, I loved the way that it all came back around. So like we got we finally got our look into what happened at the end of the world. Like, I feel like from the beginning of the show...
We've been trying to figure that out, right?
Yeah, we've been like, I want to know all the events that led up to the arcs coming together when we finally got that. And it came back to show us even the origin of the grounders and everything, which was amazing.
Which I called it.
I know.
Totally called it. But at the same time, I was a little off with my theory. I know I was tweeting someone earlier today, which I'm trying to remember about it. But was it Purple Monkey? Maybe it was Purple Monkey. I don't remember. But the fact that we were going to figure out what was going on and how this all started, and in my brain, when someone puts the infinity symbol next to a DNA symbol, I was like, oh, I mean, that would make sense. Maybe that's how we started the Grounders, or how this whole religion started and whatever. And then I did it.
Alexis,
but I liked that at the same time, because I didn't think they were going to give us all of that this episode. I thought they were just going to kind of throw snippets in there. But it was kind of hard for me because I'm not used to seeing flashbacks. So I was like, man, there's a lot of flashbacks up in here. I mean, I know we've seen it throughout the seasons and stuff, but it was the most flashback heavy that we've had.
Right.
So, and it was really hard to distinguish what was real and what not real, but you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, what was happening in real time, or in the present.
Yeah. So I was having a hard time until you could tell, because there was a clear crispness to the show, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we're in, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy.
I feel like I personally was hit really hard by that scene of the Earth essentially being destroyed.
Woof. Am I right?
Yeah, I didn't think that having just... I think it was really smart of them to have just the image of the Earth, not necessarily people on the Earth being blown up or anything like that.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for Terminator status of her on the fence, being like, ah! like that
Yeah.
kind of thing. But yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you know what I mean.
It was well done.
I'm
I mean,
sorry,
I especially having the phone call with I believe his name was Cole. He was Commander
Yes.
Cole. He him talking to his family, knowing that it's essentially his last time talking to them.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know, because in my brain I was like, okay, I don't know if he's being like the manly man thing where he's like, I'm gonna stay strong for my wife and my child and pretend like everything's cool, and then obviously know that they're going to die, but he like didn't show like I mean, maybe it's because our TV screen kept kind of dimming when we were watching it, but I couldn't see like the emotion on his face. So I was kind of like, is he keeping a strong face, or is he actually going through something and I just can't see it? So it was hard for me to read what was going on his face. Mostly.
I mean, I felt like you could definitely see the emotion. Like there was a little shakiness in his voice.
Yes, I did hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about like the actual face. But that was me just being nitpicky. Obviously, everybody deals with grief differently. So
Right.
yeah, and that was like instant.
He had a very furrowed brow.
He did.
Yes.
Yes.
And he had a quivering lip, I'd say, and one nostril that was highly affected.
Oh yes, I saw.
Yes.
It's just like right in that little corner
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
It's called acting, Alexis.
No, I know. I'm gonna blame the NyQuil right now because I couldn't. I was in and out of the episode, but it. I think that was the scene where literally I had to just. It felt like time stopped.
Yeah.
For me, as I was watching this whole thing happen, because I loved the reveal of them in space and not being on Earth when this was all going down, which was awesome. It was very just smooth, and then her actually realizing like, what have I done? So it was just really interesting to see how they played that out, and obviously, kudos to everybody who put that together, crew and all, and just it just hurt every part of my being, and it was great.
Well, what did you think about Becca's determination in terms of keeping her AI alive?
I mean, I understood what she was trying to do because, as you know, you can ask any inventor or anybody who's made something and they put their life and soul into it, and the fact that their first one has done something so, not to be punny, but astronomically terrible. It hurt just saying it.
Yeah, rub it off.
But I can see where she kind of just, kind of lost it, which we've seen with not the mad scientist kind of thing, but like it affects you in a certain way to the fact that you've killed literally billions of people, but you're like, I can make it better. I can fix this. And you're like, no, sweetheart, you can't.
Though, in a way, she was kind of right.
Well, yeah, and it's hard, but it's hard to take someone's word for it when, again, you've killed billions of people.
Right.
So, I mean, I wanted to give her a chance, to be honest, but that's me being biased because I love that actress. So I'm like, I can believe anything that you do. But I understand from where the commander and her assistant was coming from, where they're like, you need to get rid of this. We can't bring in the rest of the other stations into us with that AI on board, which was okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I crazy that I was really upset that they all were just like, oh, bye, and I was like, they just blew it up and that was it.
Yeah.
That's all we did. Just blew it up and we're done. That's it.
Pretty much. Well, because it was from what I could tell, it was basically like if they didn't fall in line, they were going to be like the 13th what district in Hunger Games, where it's like, all right, we're going to take you out to show everyone what happens when you aren't part of the big group.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was very confused. I was like, we're just going to solve it by already blowing people up. We already lost so many people. We're just going to kill more people. Okay,
totally.
Cool. Yay!
Though it felt like it was just the three of them on that whole ship.
I think it was, which
That's
is weird
bananas.
to me. Yeah, and that's what that was going to be my next question. Was like, was it just the three of them? Did they have more people? I don't understand how this works.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, because it seemed like it was just like a small research vessel.
But I was confused because if they blew that up, where would they dock? Or were they just going to form together? That's why we had the arc, which is just a giant ring, but I thought there was something in the middle. I don't know. NyQuil's not helping me right now.
Right.
I remember everything.
I mean, I think that it would have just been a bigger circle. I mean, because essentially it's just a collection of docked space stations, which I do agree. It's a giant feat of
It was weird.
engineering.
Yeah, I was like, why? Could have just floated her. I don't understand what. I mean, she technically already kind of did that on her own, but she took a pod. But
Right.
like, you could have just gotten rid of her. She was already leaving instead of you just blowing it up and going, all right, now that we've done that, let's get back to business. Where?
Well, I mean, I think they were definitely her friends. They wanted to save her. They just didn't. They didn't think that her experiments were.
No, I'm not talking about the people that were with her, the commander and the assistant.
Oh.
I'm talking about the guy who was the other commander who was in charge of putting them together. He was like, negative. Well, we're not having this, blah, 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 and then blew them up. And I was like, you didn't even give them a chance. She was already leaving. And they said that too. They're like, she's leaving now. You can dock after you see that pod leave. And he's like, negative. I'm like, why? You're such an idiot.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm mostly complaining about. I understood, again, we're all different parties were coming from except for that guy.
Right.
I thought it was dumb.
Yeah, I feel like maybe they were already planned to be destroyed because like everyone could assume that like yeah all right, so
I see you
now. They were like, we're gonna give them a chance, wink. Nudge.
Not really. Just kidding.
But I thought it was really interesting, like, because you see her throughout the episode, like, taking blood and
I think
like...
and I was assuming... Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was assuming it was because she was trying to test maybe to see if she can live on Earth.
Right.
So she was doing tests to see if maybe the AI would work with her and or if she can live through the radiation. Because, I mean, we saw those levels. Those things were out of control. What did you think?
Well, I think it was... it's because of the neural inhibitor. There's probably a chance that, like... that's what it's doing, is that it's thickening the blood and like causing all this excess, I would say, waste byproduct. But something to that effect. But now we know that like that which she was taking from herself is what caused the what are they're called, the nightblood.
Yes, because that's what I was trying to figure out, was because eventually the more blood she took, the more darker it got, and I was like, how is this happening? And I was I guess that makes sense. It's coming from the AI.
Yeah. So I guess my question is, how did she distribute it to the grounders that were that she landed amongst?
She had them in vials,
right? But
and then she had the little injection thing. So maybe there's another way to reverse it and put it into them to see if they can survive on this Earth. Because I mean, obviously, she was able to make the Earth become not become a completely normal planet, but the fact that she was able to start from the ground up, and there were people who obviously survived.
Right.
So, and I mean, I couldn't tell if they were in suits walking around.
I think they were like just in tattered clothes.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I'm like, if the radiation's so terrible, like, how were they able to walk around and breathe? But then again, I mean, we don't really know.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming that she just distributed it from that tool that she had.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I in my mind.
They drink it like a sacrifice.
Well, yeah, like
chalice for you.
How she convinced everyone to take this, and then beyond that, like, I guess, because when she landed, it wasn't too long after the bombs had exploded. So for them to be like, "We're gonna worship you," doesn't make sense. So like for her to be selling this magical cure, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and the fact that maybe these guys were already thinking, oh my gosh, I've already survived this giant epidemic, and they also had to go through the shock of losing everybody. So maybe that they weren't, I'm not saying that they weren't in their complete right minds, but like the fact that maybe at this point anything would work. Kind of like how the City of Light, where Jaha just comes in and is like, here, take this, you know, and everything will be fine, you know, kind of thing. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people are just kind of looking for any sign of hope, and they kind of just convince themselves that it's a thing.
Okay. I could see that. All right. Cool. So now we have the whole story of Polis.
I guess.
Polaris and all that stuff. So I wanna talk about Titus and Lexa a little bit, because I really like their relationship. I really like that he's basically this mentor, and she's going against everything that he's taught her in order to follow her heart, and it's kind of like he's basically the only parent that she has.
Right.
And I think I'm so sad that we don't get more of it.
I know.
I liked what we got.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously have to move the story along, so I get why they did it. I mean, I hear you guys in the chat. That's why if you guys are looking at my face making faces, it's mostly just like, oh wow, there's so many things going on. I know we haven't gotten to that point yet, but I'm sorry, Lexa fans. Like, that's all I wanted to say before we get there. But I really liked the dynamic of having that, like, he's really for the grounder people, Clark's there for her people, and it's just a lot of back and forth and things. And I know that a lot of people really hate Titus right now, which, again, very understandable, but at the same time, that's my phone.
Yeah.
So many Hamilton ringtones. Okay, sorry. But yeah, I understand where he's coming from, because he's been part of this thing for I guess years. I mean, I don't really know how he gets into the job that he has, but he's only known one thing, and the fact that this girl from Sky Crew just comes out of nowhere and who's just like, hey, I think you should do this, and Lex is like, yes, I should do that because you're a sexy being. I mean, you're very insightful.
Right.
I would get angry too. I mean, not kill her, but that's how Titus and I are different.
Yeah.
But I like the dynamic.
That's true. Mm-hmm. And you can also, and like as you were saying, I super see his perspective in that, like, everyone who's dying is Tree Crew.
Yeah.
And he keeps demanding that there's justice, something that happens in order to make it right.
Yep.
I mean, we know that the Grounders' way is very violent, and there's no, like, but at the same time, like, to see your people dying and have nothing happen to kind of seek retribution must be very painful.
Yeah, and again, I loved when Clark was talking to Lexa as she was meditating. She's like, you just saw someone die. How are you so calm? You know what I mean? Like, someone tried to kill you. How are you so calm? And that's also what I really admire about Lexa, even though, again, she's betrayed people left and right, that she is still a really good commander. She knows how to just, I mean, again, I understand that Clark was in her ear a majority of the time, but so was Titus. Yeah. But I love how she was able to find balance in one or the other at one point. Yeah. And I, and I really appreciated that she could still be like, okay, we're gonna make a barricade, but also if anyone breaks that, they're dead. And I'm like, oh, you're a smarty pants, and I like it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that compromise in that, like.
Sorry.
Yeah.
See what you're doing up there.
Our engineer's being crafty.
I like it.
I liked that compromise, because in a way Clark is being way too soft. She wants everyone to live happily ever after, no one to ever die, and that's not how things work.
No, I completely agree.
So for them to kind of have this blockade and be like, all right, Sky Crew, instead of murdering you, which we are wholly capable of, we're going to put you in timeout.
I know, that's exactly what it was, and it was great.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Though, now that she's gone, who knows if that's still going to be the plan.
I have a bad feeling that all hell's going to break loose now that she's dead. I'm just, you know what? I'm going to wait for predictions. I'm going to wait because I have some things.
Okay.
So I'm just going to keep them back.
All right.
Yeah. I just hope they're not going to take away her shot.
Oh,
you saw what I did there.
I did.
Okay, I'm done now. You can continue.
Oh, man. So, sorry, that got me, guys.
Yes! Sorry, I'm okay
now. We also got a mention of Kostya, who was apparently a former lover of Lexa.
I want to know who she is. I want to see flashbacks of this person.
Well, who's gonna flashback?
I don't know, man. Just for funsies.
I mean,
maybe the new commander will have visions of that. That would be great.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with this.
Like an Avatar style, like past lives.
Yeah,
thing.
just be like, oh, okay, this is cool. Get to see Lex's. Oh, okay. I wasn't ready for that, but continue.
Huh?
What?
I just had a thought.
Okay, because I thought it was like the Avatar state, so I thought that's what it was. They were just going to connect to all the last avatars or commanders and then go through their memories, kind of.
I mean, possibly. So, I guess this is a good time to talk about the Allie 2 chip that's in Lex's neck.
Whoa. Whoa. Because when they revealed her tattoo, I didn't notice there was a scar behind it. Did you?
No.
I did not notice that until obviously they zoomed way the float in.
Right.
And I was like, right? And I was sitting there going, what is that? Why is there a scar? Is something gonna like come out of that? That'd be weird.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden when he started taking out the tools, I was like, either he's going to cut something out of her and that's like part of like tradition, or he has to do surgery like how ancient Egypt was, where they had to take out your vital organs and put it in the jars. So that's what I thought he was going to do, and I was like, man, there's a lot of culture up in here, and I like it. But yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. With that, I would let me postulate for a second.
Please.
In that, so we get this idea that every commander before her, she can kind of commune with them and they all have a peace. We also know that the infinity chips essentially keep an imprint of a dead person inside of them.
That's right.
And so those times that she was meditating are very similar to when Jaha meditates as well.
Yeah, okay, so
she could, in fact, be connected to the City of Light or some form of that, and that's how she communes with the commanders.
But that's what I'm confused about. I mean, I get that part. That makes a lot more sense than what I was thinking prior, but I'm also trying to think of the fact that when we'll get to Murphy, because I know you guys are asking about it, about how when Titus was interviewing Murphy, as I like to put it, he mentioned like, oh, the woman who is not a woman, and I was like, so obviously he knows who Allie is, but what do they think she actually is though? So I think it's kind of interesting, and I hope that we get to know more about that, because they obviously don't know what an AI is, because they just took out a thing out of Lex's body, and they're just like, no, it's oh gosh, I forgot what he said.
He said it's my belief or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know, but then he puts it away into the box that she already had the box in, and whatever, and I was just like, okay, so they clearly don't know what it is, but they also know that Allie's not a woman who is pretending to be a woman, and I'm like, I'm so lost.
Well, I would think that it's actually like they view it as kind of like an angel or a spirit.
Okay, that technically connects to whoever's host that they're using. Okay, that makes sense.
Because she's the first, she takes the form of the first body, and so it's that I guess dissension. Wait, what is the word? Is that the word I'm looking? Whatever. It's those descendants that are connected to her that way. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I'm also just trying to figure out also how much the AI actually has control of the host, because it looks like Lexa was pretty much in control the entire time, until like she sleeps, and then obviously just things just come, like the voices and whatever come to her.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out, like, because with Jaha, Allie's just hanging out and just being like, oh, this person doesn't believe you and whatever, we must convince them. But like with Lexa, it looks like she's making her own decisions, because Clark says something and she's like, yes, it shall be so, and I'm like, all right. So I wanted to know how much, at least the actions, obviously Allie doesn't know where it is and she's looking for it. What is Allie 2 actually doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it is it as gosh, the creator said, Becca, thank you, saying that it is a completely different AI and it's actually going to help people, or is it just the same thing and we just don't know about that yet? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're gonna find out as the season goes on, but I mean, I would imagine that it's different in that it combines with you and it makes you, like, it'll help you make better decisions, but it's not like an external force kind of telling you what to do. Right.
Ooh, do you think Lexa's going to be in the City of Light? I don't know who brought that up. It went up too quickly, but thank you, Chad. I didn't even think about that. Do you think that not Octavia, Raven might be able to see her, or Jaha, or somebody of that nature? Maybe Allie?
I think that they would only be able to see her if Allie acquired Becca.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
That would be.
Because they would have to meet up again. Okay. Things are formulating in my brain.
Yeah.
Not Becca though, but thoughts.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like Octavia really shined in this episode as well.
I tweeted about it earlier today, especially to Indina Porter, because she's fantastic.
Yeah.
I felt her pain, like, a lot, and I'm really glad that even though Indra is a beautiful warrior, she's great, and she's fantastic. I know people who've gotten injured through war or whatever, and the fact that they feel defeated because they can't do the things that they were doing before. Yeah. But I've also seen them do what Indra did, where she was able to get back up and be like, I'm ready to do it. But it was kind of hard to watch Indra just backhand Octavia straight up, and she was just... And speaking of Octavia, also the fact that I love that right after she got her butt kicked by...
Are you talking about
what's his name? Yes. How she was still talking like this because her face was still swollen. Right. And I didn't notice that until she was trying to talk to Clark, and I was like, why does her voice sound so funny? And then I realized, oh, she's talking as if her face was still swollen because she literally just got out of a fight. Okay. I like that. Sorry, I love the continuity when it comes to things like that. But I really I think that was my favorite scene, was watching Indra go through this thing of just like watching her, like she couldn't even look at Octavia like in the face. She had to look away and be like, have this like, she's like puffing out her chest like, oh, I'm injured, deal with it. And it's like, no, you're better than this. Get up and fight.
Yeah, it was like a Rocky moment.
It was like a Rocky moment. I
really
love that movie. No, like I love that movie. But yeah, it was really, really cool to see the student become the teacher just a little bit, you know, and it was great. I loved it so much.
It was great.
Yeah, I want more of that. I mean, not of Indra, feeling defeated, but I like seeing that these kids, young adults, are now finally taking up the thing of like, we need to stop. Just adults, you're acting like children. Stop. Right. Let's get it together. Yeah, kind of thing. And I like that. Everyone's
kind of on equal footing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just really shined for Octavia. I feel bad that Ben's not here to talk about his piece about Octavia, but she's literally the one character who's really changed throughout this whole thing. I mean, I'm not saying that all of them didn't change, but like Octavia was the one that literally went from just like being a rowdy kid to being a true warrior, and it's awesome.
Yeah. As Ben would say, I mean, she went from being like, we're back bitches, Octavia, to super BA Octavia, who's taking kicks to the face and also whipping people into shape, trying to assassinate folks. This is the Octavia we have now, and it's so great. Oh Octavia's amazing.
I saw you clearly leave the room and bring Ben Bateman in. Thank you, studio audience. Thank you. He deserves that. Woo! And the Academy Award goes to...
Leo.
Yeah.
Spoilers if you haven't seen the Oscar.
If you're never on the internet. Leonardo DiCaprio won an Oscar. Anyway.
It's great. It's fine.
Yeah, it's great. I was there.
But, I mean, speaking of, do you think that her whole plan of assassinating Pike would have worked? I mean, we don't know if they're still going to go through with that plan, but
I feel like I want it to happen because Pike needs to die, but... I have a bad feeling it's going to backfire, because if they find out a grounder came in and like who used to be one of their own, they can either twist it in two ways. One, a grounder killed Pike, they must die. Yeah. Or, oh, look what the grounders did to this girl who was part of our crew. They've brainwashed her and told her that this is how it is, this barbarian. Now they must all die. Yeah. It still has the same result, but I feel like it depends on which one would be crazier.
That's true.
I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, again, love for him to die. But I think they really need to think through this. I think they should capture him and take him back and then put him through trial and then kill him.
All right. And then kill him. Yeah. I agree. I think that if they did assassinate him in some way or cause his death, then he would die a martyr as opposed to being... essentially everyone who supports him would only be justified in their actions. Yep. So it's just like you said. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he would go into a trial. I think that like he would die before he is caught.
No. I'm hoping that that's what they say, and then, like I said, he dies at one point in time. Either before the trial, during the trial, after the trial. I don't care. The end result will be him dead.
Ooh.
That's what I want.
Yes.
I mean, again, I know it's not going to solve anything, like, immediately, because, again, there's going to be people who are like, you killed Pike! Ah!
Right.
Ran a spear. But, like, sorry, I was bringing that back from the first season.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think that when they see the error of his ways, I'm hoping Kane will step in and just really bring it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, but I also know that this season is supposed to be just crazy hellish. So I'm also excited to see what actually happens.
Yeah.
That's what I hope.
Okay.
That they get justice and Pike dies a horrible death.
I kind of feel like they're setting us up for like a Game of Thrones type thing where everyone's like, this guy needs to die. And then at the end of everything, he never gets his comeuppance.
Yep. I mean, we technically did get that, though, with the guy that we all hate. But it was kind of like, is this happening right now? It's happening right now! Yeah, like that kind of thing, yeah. And I would be okay with that, too. Because I literally screamed at my TV screen when, spoiler alert, a certain character dies that we all hate.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but that took 4 seasons or something.
Yeah.
And I feel like
I'm hoping Pike doesn't last another season. I don't think I can handle it.
I think he will.
You really think he will?
I don't know. He won't. He may not be.
Maybe he'll separate off again and take his own people and be like, you know what? Fine. If you want to stay in Arcadia, go ahead. I'm gonna start my own spot.
Yeah.
And I will rule from here. And then it's like, oh, now we're at war with the Grounders and Pike. Oh man. Oh, the humanity.
I'd watch that.
I mean, yeah, no, take my viewings. Like, I'll take it. Like, I'll watch it. I'm just saying that if it doesn't end with him dying this season, he's gonna separate off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think Bellamy will go with him, and it'll be so stupid.
Bellamy. We'll save more Bellamy talk for whatever.
Because I'm like, it's gonna be an Arcadia episode next week.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Okay. I felt terrible for Murphy this episode.
Woof! I tweeted at Richard Hart. I didn't even see what was going on. I was just like, Murphy, you just got blood and your hair, you got a little bit of there and a point there and that was a takedown. All right, you win. I will say, yeah, me too. Yeah.
I will say, having seen that, when Clark threw the chair at him and he fell over, I was like, what happened to your reflex, bro?
Yeah, I was like, what happened to you being such a badass? Like, you just oh no, chair.
My one weakness, chairs.
And I was like, this is not how this works. But yeah, I just, for everyone who's finally getting back, we apologize for the stream cutting out, but we were talking about Titus being this crazy kung fu master, apparently.
Yeah.
And how Tauri and I, again, are both martial artists, and we were admiring his technique and how amazing he looked, whether it was a Sunkai or not. But yeah, the fact that he got taken down by a one wooden chair, just one, was just like, what happened? What? But yes, that whole scene was crazy because we all knew from the preview that there was some sort of gunfire, and we were like, what? Why is this happening? How did he get a gun in here? But I liked his plan, even though it was kind of dumb, because he was like, I'm going to kill you, Clark, and then she's like, well, Lexa's gonna know it's you, and it's like, no, he's gonna think it's Sky Crew weapon. I was like, you didn't think this through, did you?
I mean, yeah, it was a little on the fly.
It was on the fly, like straight up. I was like, 1, where did you find this gun? 2, well, I guess it's not that hard because he has a giant shrine room that has a bunch of stuff from, I guess, Sky Crew, if you want to put it that way.
And I think Murphy may have had
he might have had a gun in his backpack. I didn't think about that. Oh, damn. Damn, I forgot about that. Okay.
Which ultimately led to our the saddest scene in the world, where he accidentally shoots Lexa.
What? Okay. I wish you guys could have saw me and Tauri, because we were like, whoa, no. What? No. Okay, this is happening.
Oh, yeah.
If you could see my face turning red, iTunes listeners, it was literally me actually going through these same exact emotions I was going through when I was watching it. Because I was like, I looked at Tauri and I was like, it was no words. It was terrible.
It was rough. That
whole scene.
Because it was part classic TV like accidental shooting where someone walks into a room while a fight's going down as if nothing's happening, and then they're like, "Oh my gosh, stray bullet!" But like we have all these people who like super duper love Lexa in different ways, except for Murphy. He doesn't care. But like we have
but he
her
understands
mentor.
what's going on,
right.
though.
We have her mentor and her lover who have both been pulling her different ways this whole time, kind of like basically crying over her body. Clark was crying.
No, he was crying too. It just wasn't. It wasn't
gushy. Yeah. But like, I thought this was really. It was really emotional. It was touching, guys. It was touching.
Like Tauri and I actually usually sometimes we'll watch the show and we'll converse in between about like a scene. Like if we have to say something right then and there, there was no words happening during that entire scene except for when obviously the chair was thrown. We were laughing and being like, "This is so stupid."
Right.
But like as soon as we saw the shot and we both made some sort of weird audible noise, it was just silence. The two of us watching, and we were just like, wow, this is happening.
Yeah.
This is Clark trying to save her, Titus realizing he floated up, and Murphy just kind of like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to stand here and try to help, kind of, not really.
Yeah.
And
it's like, does this mean I can leave now?
he was just mostly excited to get out of there because he's been tortured for days in the basement, or the dungeon, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually don't have an opinion about what just happened. I literally was just like, okay, that happened. I'm depressed now. We can go. We can talk about the show for an hour. Here we go.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of felt it coming when we had the love scene.
Did Ben call that Lexa was gonna die?
I think so.
I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think he like had any specifics, but like he definitely said that like ultimately Clark was gonna lead to her downfall and that she was gonna die this season. And
do you believe that?
That Clark led to her downfall? Yes. I believe it in a way.
I also agree with you,
yeah.
if that helps. I'm sorry, guys, but I do agree that I think even though Clark meant well, and so did Titus, I think the two of them clashing and kind of getting into Lexa's head of what to choose and what not, I think it was the result of her downfall, and obviously resulted into this chaos that happened, because I mean if they actually agreed, he wouldn't have gotten a gun and killed her.
That's true.
By accident, obviously.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, you can't predict what will happen, but I think the arguing definitely led to this decision, and now the result, consequence.
And ultimately, I mean, the Grounders at any point could have wiped out Sky Crew and essentially solved all their problems. But Clark, being Clark, demanded that there be a diplomatic solution. And as cute and fun as that is, I mean, she being Lexa was already on thin ice, and she was constantly making decisions that the people didn't agree with. If she was a president, she would have been impeached at any
immediately.
point. Yeah. So I think ultimately following her heart, though noble, it was a bit naive.
I agree with the fact that, and I agree with a lot of, not like everyone in the chat is talking about it, but that love can be a driving force, whether it will lead to your victory or lead to your doom, depending on what you choose.
Yeah.
And in this one, I mean, I'm glad that Lexa fans got to have a last hurrah before Lexa passed away.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting it, but at the same time, I was like, oh, I don't have a bad feeling about this. And obviously, it was resulted in a terrible way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like sometimes your emotions can cloud your judgment, even though she made it very clear that she can make her own decisions, which is fine. But ultimately, we all knew that there was a little hand in it. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I guess we will see the outcome of it all.
Yeah.
Real quick, we'll do a short lighthouse. There was a sex scene.
Yay!
There was lots of sex.
Oh man, lots of love and cute little lighting from the sun. Yes, there was. It was beautiful. It was great. We all saw it coming. Ben probably would have been very excited.
Yes.
Yeah, and that is our light. That was pretty much it.
I mean, yeah, that was it. There's no other. There are no other ships going on right now.
The Lexa ship has sailed.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It sucks, but in reality, it is here.
It's
and
true.
I'm sorry, guys.
I mean, this opens the door for all you Bellark fans.
Hey, and or just new love interests.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll have a new ship to set dock at.
Octavia.
Don't get my hopes up. Don't do that. I'm still waiting for Rave Octavia.
Oh, yeah.
I want some of that. But yeah, I'm just glad we get to open new doors.
Yeah.
For either relationships, friendships, whatever. You know, not saying that Lexa was a door stop, but
right.
But yeah, I like that we can go a different creative route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. And that leaves us with the predictions.
Yeah. The lighthouse sank the ship, kind
Your
of.
AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it sinking.
Yeah, we did actually. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, there it goes. But a beautiful scene nonetheless, though.
It's true.
Before we move on to predictions, though, I have to talk about how Ben was talking about how sometimes the CW show will show that it's a CW show. Sometimes it was when, no offense to everybody in the chat, when Clark was closing Lexa's eyes. There's a part where she was bawling and I was feeling it, and then she stopped, closed her eyes, and made that. There was a weird Foley sound with her blood in her eyes, and then like immediately after, and I was like, "What's happening?" Again, she's a great actress. I was okay with that. It threw me out of the moment because it was like silent and then squish and then back to her crying, and I was like, "What just happened?" So I just want to put that out there. Just wanted to get that out of the way before we get into predictions. I'm sorry.
No.
It was weird. It was weird.
I like that you pointed that out.
It was so weird.
A little bit.
It was just like
silence, squish, crying.
And I'm like, okay, we're back. Here we go. Back to you. Anyway.
So what do you think is going to happen?
Since I don't know if we're going to get much of, I guess, is it the capital? I guess is where they're at. I mean, I don't really know specifically where, Lexa and I'm not gonna even try.
Polis.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
With Polis, I don't think we're gonna get much of that next episode. It looked like it was a very Arcadia heavy episode. I feel like people are gonna start dividing at this point, especially when they start seeing the people, the rest of the grounders coming in to do the barricade. So I think we're gonna get it from the inside of Arcadia's perspective, and I think a lot of people are going to separate. It's going to be rough. It looks like Lincoln's going to start punching some people to get out. So I think the grounders are going to get out from their containment. Like I said, everyone's just going to separate. People will die, and then I don't know what Pike's going to do. That's what I'm mostly afraid of. Is I don't know what his plan is now besides just killing grounders off.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just expecting they're finally going to be a divide, and either someone's going to leave. Or, like I said, people are going to try to go after the grounders and they're going to die. Okay. All right. Yeah. And it's just going to cause more problems.
Yeah.
Than solving any.
I could see that.
What do you think?
I mean, I think that the kid that we had set up, I do not remember his name, but the nightbleeder. That Lexa really enjoyed.
He's going to take
her
over.
protege. He's going to take over, and he's going to be super ruthless.
Because he's probably not going to be on board with everything, so maybe he's just going to wipe out.
Yeah. So I think that will be the main conflict. Because I'm
going to play devil's advocate. I was going to say deviled eggs, and I'm like, that's
incorrect. You're going to play devil's eggs. You're going to be real good.
Yeah. I think he's going to try to keep Lexa's
her
choices.
Dream alive.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Because he looked up to her, but they've also been showing his face a lot, and and he's usually smirking about something. So I'm like, no, he's probably gonna do something. He's probably gonna do the total opposite. But I'm gonna hope that he's gonna try to keep her dreams alive, and maybe Clark will be able to convince him. Maybe. But I think Titus will be able to manipulate him more than Lexa, because Lexa's an adult.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know what you think is going to happen in the comments below. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming back every week.
I'm getting hungry and I'm not gonna wait my shot.
We appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe, comment below, and let us know what you thought of the episode. And tell them where they can find you, Alexis.
Oh man, I've been loving the song so far.
I know.
You're not going to take away my shot, but you can take away my social medias at Torres890. Please go check out my YouTube channel. I'm trying to revamp it. I just posted, because I've been sick this week, I didn't get to post my Hump Day Lunch Hour. I just did it today. There it goes already. But please go ahead and go to youtube.com/PS890 or Torres890. Check out my Instagram, my Snapchat, all that kind of stuff there as well. And just hang out with me, chat, things like that.
Nice. And you can shoot me a tweet at Tauri J, TaurijAY. And don't miss us every week here on AfterBuzz TV.
Before we go, we have one iTunes review I wanted to read out because I didn't get to do it last week. It was called Love the 100 and Love This Podcast, 5 stars. Don't forget, if you do an iTunes review, we get to read out your iTunes review. It's from AVS Fan 91. Great job, guys. Best show on AfterBuzz. Always listen right after the show. A+.
Aw, yeah. Thank you. And thank you. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time on AfterBuzz TV's The 100th episode.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Stay grounded.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.